All right, so whether you guys are trying to use this to make an extra $1,000 a month, or if you're trying to make eBay dropshipping your full-time income, there's one skill that you guys are going to need to master, and that skill being product research. So since it's a new year, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my current method that I'm using in 2025 to find all my winning products. And as you follow along, if you guys have any questions, of course you can comment down below, but if you want to reach out to me directly, you can go ahead and join the Discord and then you can message me there. But yeah, without wasting more time, let's just get straight into it. All right, so in this video, I'm going to be using Ecom Sniper to help find the products. So without wasting time, you're going to go ahead and open up the extension and you're going to head to the competitor research tab. All right, so once you guys open up the competitor research tab, there's going to be a box here, and this is supposed to be a list of sellers. So this next step is going to be adding to our sellers list. So how do you actually find sellers who are dropshipping on eBay from Amazon? You're going to directly go to Amazon and you can look up literally any item, right? Like looking at my desk right now, here's a hairband, right? So we're going to go ahead and look up headband. And then from here, we're going to choose any of these items. I'm going to choose one that stands out so it's easier to spot. We'll go ahead and choose this one here. And another attachment to the software is going to be this button right here, which is going to allow us to directly search it on eBay. So go ahead and click that. And once you search it, we're just looking for the exact same picture, right? The way that we find dropshippers is you find listings with the exact same pictures from Amazon, just at a marked up price. So here we can see we'd be buying it for around $6.50, and you can see listings with the exact same pictures for twice as much, right? And that's how you know they're dropshipping. So in this case, we find these listings of these products. We know the people who are listing these are dropshippers. So another attachment to this software is this blue button right here. You can see it says Save eBay Seller. So every time we click this on each listing, it's going to save the seller of this listing. And if we know that they're dropshippers, then that means we can save a whole list of dropshippers. So as you can see, we're just going on the list, and each of these listings we're clicking save on, right? And as we're saving these sellers, you can see here the box, if we refresh, it's adding every single one of these usernames. So what the software allows us to do is use a list, which is really just the usernames of dropshipping accounts, and it's going to be able to scan through their sold history. And the reason that's important, right, is because if you can go through the sold history of a dropshipper who's doing the exact same thing as you, you can see the history of their items, and you can find items that sold a certain amount of times within a certain time frame. So in this case, the option that it gives you is get sold history. You want that to be on if you're sniping, and then it's going to give you different time frames. In this case, I always do 3 days. You can do the last 7, 14. The longer you go, the more data you get to play with. But in this case, I just do the last 3 days, and you can run it multiple times throughout the week as you snipe. And the scan speed, this is just how many tabs it's going to open at once. But just to quickly show you guys what I mean, whenever you click run here, what it's going to go ahead and do is pull up these sellers, and then it's going to scan through each of their items that have sold, right? And you can see the history of the dates that each of these have sold and the quantity of how many times the item has sold. So as you run through the entire list, I'm going to go ahead and stop it because, of course, we only have 5 different sellers. But you're going to be able to click show items, and you're going to have all the history of all these items, right? And once you have data showing, how many times the item sold at a certain price with a specific title within a certain time frame, then you're able to just, undercut that price. And if it's profitable, then you successfully, snipe the item. So the next step is going to be build a list of, in this case, in the video, I'm going to do 150 to 200 items, just so I have enough data to actually, show you guys me sniping in the video. But realistically, you guys want to build your list to, 500, 700, and maybe even 1,000 different sellers, right? Because the more the better, the more data you're going to get. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is build this list to, like I said, 150 to 200, maybe 250 sellers. And then I'll get back to you guys once I have that list complete. And then we're going to go ahead and run the software. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And once we actually have the data, I'm going to show you exactly how I go about using that data and turn it into sniped listings. So to continue building my list, just to show you guys, you can continue searching random items on Amazon. Another thing you can do is reverse search. So this person has a listing of this hairband, and a part of the extension is, you can search these items on Amazon as well. So we're going to go ahead and click that Amazon button. We can find it here on Amazon for $39.10. So we know that they're a dropshipper. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is open up the Amazon listing and do the same thing that we did before, where we're going to go ahead and search this item on eBay. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and save every single one of these sellers. So you can just continue doing that, or you can, look up completely different items on Amazon. For example, I could look up portable fan, right? And then you're just going to choose any of these. and you're gonna go ahead and search it on eBay like we did with the other items. And from there, you're just gonna go ahead and continue saving all the sellers, right? So same exact item, same photos, just priced at a higher price. That's how you know that they're drop shipping. Um, in most of the cases, there's gonna be multiple colorways. So just like I did for that one, you can actually do it for any of the colors. And yeah, you're just building your list like I said. I'm gonna go ahead and build the list to 150 to 200, and I'll get back with you guys and show you guys the next step. All right, so I got the list to a little bit over 250, and this next part is extremely simple. What you're gonna want to do is just make sure that the sold history is on. I do last 3 days. I never do more than 7. If you go higher, you're just gonna get more data whenever it scans through, the seller's sold items. So if you wanted to mess around and like do different filters where maybe you did last 14 days, so then you could set the filter at like items that sold in the last 10 days 3 times, but the price is over $100, right? If you want to look for more profitable items. But yeah, I personally never do more than 7 days. But in this example, most of the time that I snipe, I do 3 days. So I'm just gonna show you guys that. And the scanning speed is just the amount of tabs that it's gonna open up while scanning. So this is kind of based on the type of computer you have. I just keep it at 5. I never have any problems. And then from here, it's as simple as just clicking run. And then I'll show you kind of what it looks like. It's going to open up each seller. So it's on seller number 1. It'll open up their sold items. And it's going through each item. You can see the sold history, right? You can see it sold once at this price on that date. And it's going to go through and it's going to extract every single sold item recorded for each of these sellers, right? So at the end, we're just going to have a bunch of data of sold items. We're going to be able to see how many times they sold within certain time frames. And from there, we're going to be able to price them competitively. So then we can basically like steal a percentage of that demand, and then we can guarantee sales, right? So I'm going to go ahead and let this run all the way through all 255 sellers, and then I'll get back with you guys whenever we have all the data, and I'll actually show you guys what we do from there. All right, so once it's done running through all the sellers, you're going to see here, 255 out of 255. That's how you know it's done. And then you're just going to click show all items. And this is where you're going to see all the data that it was extracting, right? So that entire time that you were waiting, all it was doing was running through every single one of their sold items and then going through the sold history. So like right here, you can see the items that are sold, and you see the graph here, and it shows the amount of times it's sold within a specific time frame. So in this case, this power cord sold 0 times in the last day, and once in the last 3 days, and so on. And yeah, that's what makes the software so useful. Is in this case, we extract all the data, and then it gives us a filter. So let's say we want to go in and do 3 sold in the last 3 days. You can apply that filter, and it's only going to show us items that sold 3 times in the last 3 days. And the reason that's important is because then we have the exact title for an item, we have the price that it's priced at, and then we have proof that it has demand, right? 3 times in the last 3 days is enough for us to undercut an item, and from there we're able to steal the momentum that the other listings have. So in this case right here, we have this item that with the software, you're just going to search it here on Amazon, and we can see that they're buying it for under $14, right? And they sold it 3 times in the last 3 days for almost $23, right? And then you can see, farther down the line, like they sold it 6 times the last 7 days, and then the last 30 days they sold it 12 times. So once everything checks off, which for me it's finding it on Amazon and seeing if it's profitable. From there, you're going to search it on eBay, and then you're going to sort it by price. And in this case, whenever you're sniping, what's selling is the title. So you have to take into account the title, right? There could be 2 different listings. This is the listing that we're looking at and we're trying to find. There could be a listing that is, $5 cheaper, but if it's not the exact same title, then it doesn't count, right? So we're looking for this specific title and finding the cheapest priced one with this specific title. So in this case, the cheapest one is $16.05, which for me isn't enough profit, right? Maybe if you're tax exempt on Amazon, you can squeeze, $1 out of it, but it's not worth it for me, right? I'm actually looking for profitable items. I'm not trying to build momentum. So you just continue going down the list. You're just going to continue looking for these items. And sometimes they're not going to pop up, right? Like in this case, maybe it's a different color. I'm not finding it. Yeah, I can't see it here, so we're just going to move along or continue searching. This one also isn't on Amazon. So just keep on moving down the list. All right, so I found an item here, right? It's being sold for $65. It sold 5 times in the last 3 days, 8 times in the last 7, and then 12 times in the last 14 on Amazon. we're buying it for $40 and we're selling it for 65. So there's like a $15 profit margin there. So then again, you want to search it up on eBay and you want to find the lowest priced seller with the exact same title, which in this case happens to be the listing that we sniped. So then the next step is click this button right here, which you're basically sniping the title and the price. And then you're just going to plug that into the similar item number right here. You're just going to click import. And then from here, you're just going to click snipe list. And what that did is it copies over the exact same title because again, the title is what's selling and it's going to undercut the price by 5 cents. So if you wanted to undercut it by more, right? Like say you wanted to do it by 9 cents, you can go ahead and do that and then you're just going to click snipe list. That's as simple as that. And then from there, everything else is automated. It's going to list the item for you and then you can go back to your list and find more winning products. So right, here's another one sold 3 times in the last 3 days at 64.81. On Amazon, we're buying it for $19.99. So you always want to make sure that it's the same size, right? Like this one's 1 fluid ounce. And then here's the listing here. So we're just going to click on the listing. They're selling 2 fluid ounces. So it looks like the cheapest one here is at the $50 mark. So to check if something's profitable, right? Because we're buying it for $40 with a 5% coupon, right? So $38. So the way that you can find if it's profitable is look up eBay sale calculator and you're going to enter all the information, right? So if we're selling it at 50.10, right, because we're going to undercut it by 5 cents. And the item cost $37.99. That means it's going to be like little to no profit, so I'm just not even going to list it. All right, so now we're going to mess around with a different filter, right? We're going to do 4 in the last 7 days. And then we're going to apply that and we're going to see what we can get from this. This is what I mean by, messing around with the different filters. You're going to get different type of data, right? In this case, actually, I'm going to enter a minimum sale price of 20 just because I want high profit items. So with that right here, this item sold 2 times in the last 3 days, 5 in the last 7 at right under $23. And we're buying it here for 16. So let's search it on eBay and let's see what the cheapest price listing is with that title. So the cheapest one with the exact same title is $22.77. So you're going to copy it again. You're going to insert it and then $22.77 was the cheapest one. So we're going to undercut by 5 to $22.72 and then you're just going to click snipe list. And it's just rinse and repeat, right? If you have a huge list, right? If you have 1,000 sellers and you scan through that every night and you run through a bunch of different filters, you're bound to find multiple profitable items every single day. And you can be really picky. If you wanted to, you could only snipe items that give you, $10 or more profit. So right here, I found another one, sold twice in the last 3 days and then 4 in the last 7. And it sold at $46. And I found a similar listing that fits the title at $34, but it has a bunch of different promos and coupons. So what we're going to do from here is search on eBay. And then it's the exact same process. So you're going to sort by price and you're going to find the cheapest one with that same title, which happens to be $45.77. So we're just going to import here. And the price was $45.77, so you're going to undercut it 5 cents and then just click snipe list. Alright, so last one I'm going to do for you guys on this video, we found this one right here. It sold only once in the last 3 days, but 5 times in the last 7, 8 in the last 14, and then 14 in the last 30 days. So you're going to search on Amazon, find it right here. They're buying it for $15, and they're selling it for $21.99. So depending on the competition and how much the price got driven down, we might be able to snipe it. So it looks like the cheapest one, let's see, so they're selling it at $21.99. So this is their listing right here, I believe. Let's see. No, this is their listing right here. So with the same title, it looks like the cheapest one is going to be $20.59. So what we're going to go ahead and do is copy it over and $20.55 or 4. You want to undercut it by 5 cents. And then same thing, right? So that one might not be as much profit, but it's still profitable and it's going to drive momentum to our account. All right, so that was the entire method that I use. And one point that I want to preface really quick is that list was only 250 sellers, right? So we didn't have that many items coming from that list this specific day, right? Like tomorrow, 3 days from now, next week, I might run that exact same 255 sellers. And there might be a lot more sniped items, right? So it's pretty random. But yeah, one way to minimize the requirement of luck is to build, you could build multiple lists and build longer lists, right? So instead of, using a 255 seller list, use a 1,000 seller list, right? And you could have multiple different sellers on multiple different accounts, right? If you're running a multiple computer setup, right, like I am, I might have 10 different accounts. You're gonna have a different list per account, right? And 1,000 sellers on each list, you're gonna have 10,000 sellers that you might be running daily or every other day, every 3 days. But yeah, the point is, right, you don't really have to pick and choose, and you don't have to go for low profit sniped items. If you really wanted to, you could snipe items that are no less than, $5, $10 profit. It really comes down to the amount of data you have, which obviously you're gonna get more data with a longer list. So yeah, if you guys have any specific questions on, my strategy or just eBay dropshipping in general, make sure to join the Discord. You guys can reach out to me there directly or leave a comment. I'll answer you guys there as well. And one last thing, in the description, there's a link if you guys want to book a 15, 30-minute call with me. We can hop on one-on-one, Zoom, Discord, whatever works best for you guys. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.